Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Open Delta. We are coming to you live from Cancun, Mexico. I am currently attending Dr. Joe Dispenza's a 10-day retreat, and it's very exciting. That is my moment of gratitude for today. I've been wanting to come here for years, probably two or three, and there was always something that came up, and that was the reason that I couldn't come. And this year I set a very strong intention that I wanted to come, and here I am. And a lot of you guys have been asking me to share about my preparation, my experience, and to give a summary about what I was able to experience here. So after the retreat, I will definitely put that out. There's a lot of integration work, there's a lot of workshops, teachings, and then meditations. And I am just so excited to be here. It is wonderful to be in Mexico. One thing before I jump into a content that I'll say is that one of the books that I read, Becoming Supernatural, one of my favorite books, and a lot of the testimonials that he was sharing there were from the Cancun event. So if you're not familiar with Dr. Joe's work, he does events all over the world, from all over the States to Europe. And the one particular in Mexico is in Cancun, in this beautiful resort we're staying at Barcelona. And I really wanted to be here, and now this is where I'm at, and I'm so excited. And today I want to give you a glimpse on when I was building my coaching program, thinking about some of the frameworks that I wanted to implement. And given that this is our 12th episode of Open Delta, I am so excited for this journey. I went back to one of my journals and I opened the page to a month that this is something that I wrote in number 12. And the title of it was Permission to be Powerful and Turning Knowledge into Action. And the three things that I labeled as the three components that you need in order to go from knowledge into action are clarity, knowing where you want to go, knowing what is the outcome that you want to achieve, being confident in that you have the abilities to achieve that clarity, achieve that outcome. And then the third one is have courage. I think having courage to go after your dreams despite limiting beliefs, despite el que dirán, despite some of the fears and some of the things that come up through doing the process are the three C's: clarity, confidence, and courage. And just jumping into the framework I called it RISE, and RISE. And the first one, which is first and foremost, is to reprogram your mind. I've been learning a lot about the unconscious mind for the last couple of years. Here in Dr. Joe's work, it's a lot of reprogramming your unconscious mind. To program for Dr. Joe specifically is to program your body to a new mind, and doing all of that through somatic practices and meditations, and understanding the science and understanding quantum physics, understanding the research behind it has been very powerful, because those are concepts that people say mindset matters, mindset first, you gotta reprogram your unconscious mind. But how do you really do that? It's what I really wanted to teach in my coaching programs. And there's a lot of tools that I can do a extended video on how can you do that, and how can working with a coach that's been trained to ethically work on reprogramming your unconscious mind can be life-changing, like it was life-changing for me. So that was the R for reprogram your mind. Then the I is for identity alignment. A lot of times we go about life, we go about our day doing the things that quote unquote we were supposed to do, but they don't really feel good in our heart. They don't really feel good in what we as a person want to do. And I think this is a lot of times when we're doing the things because we have to, or because we've been conditioned to that, and not because they're in alignment with A, our identity, and B, with our purpose. The identity piece is very important because embodying what you want to become, it's a way to stay on track towards your goals. The S stands for service oriented. I have found throughout the years, especially in college when I was doing community service, when I was president of SHIP, and then all the different roles that we've shared over the last couple of episodes, has been really important because the sense of giving back to my community, helping one person, helping 100 students, it's very meaningful, and that meaningful piece is very different to every single person, and that is why we live in a very diverse world. However, the component of learning something for the first time and repeating that back to someone new who may not know anything about the topic that you're telling them about, or maybe they have a different perspective, and having that discussion and that opportunity to learn from one another, I think it's the service piece that has been incredibly powerful in my life. Because once I learned, let's say when I was reading one of Dr. Joe's book, it's one thing for me to read it, but it's another thing to go out there and have a conversation with one of my friends that I've been meeting a lot of people that have not been introduced to Dr. Joe's work, and sharing that piece of knowledge, sharing what my experience has been like, sharing how I got started with the meditations or the reprogramming of my unconscious mind. To me, it's a service to myself, to the community, to the people around me. And the more that I'm able to elevate and change myself, the better human I am, the better contributor I am to society. So it's all about service, essentially, because we all have our own little communities. And the last one is elevated focus. So this is kind of going back to that clarity piece of, once you know what you want, you reprogram your unconscious mind, you make sure that your identity is aligned to what are the outcomes that you want to achieve. You incorporate a component of service to others, and that might include yourself. And now you need to focus on what that goal is, on what is the what is the what that you're going to do, potentially the why, and figuring out the how. Maybe that how is going to change over time, and this is not to say that you have to be hyper fixated in the how. However, you do need some sort of strategy so you can focus on executing that particular strategy. So to summarize, R is to reprogram your mind, I is that identity alignment, S, service to other, and then the elevated focus. It's one of the frameworks that I teach when I am in a coaching container with my beautiful clients. And the powerful quote that I will leave you with today, it was actually a interview by Stephen Bartlett, podcaster of Diary of CEO, one of my favorite podcasts, and he was interviewing Dr. Joe. And one of the things that resonated a lot with me, and I think that's a core belief of mine, is that memory without emotion is wisdom. So whenever you are able to go back to a memory or recall an event from the past and you have no emotional response, no trigger, you are just able to tell the story as is, that is what, my friends, we are calling wisdom. I'll see you in the next one.